It's April 1994 in Rwanda. Pastor Elizaphan Ntakarutamana's letter reaches his church president, a chilling warning. We wish to inform you that tomorrow we will be killed with our families. This letter isn't just words, it's the calm before a storm. Within days, machetes cut through neighborhoods, and 100 days will see 800,000 lives lost. How does a nation spiral into such horror, and what remains when the killing stops? To understand what happened in Rwanda, we have to confront the brutal efficiency of hatred, a dark logic that propelled a nation to slaughter in less than 100 days. Pastor Elizaphan's letter wasn't a mere warning, it was a coded message of doom. Sent to a Hutu church president, it forecast not just death but complete annihilation of Tutsi families. This personal, intimate letter exposes how deep fear and betrayal spread before the first blow was struck, a prelude to the unimaginable violence that followed. The genocide wasn't a high-tech war. It was carried out with machetes and clubs, but with terrifying speed. Imagine a storm of violence sweeping through villages so fast, 800,000 people were killed in just 3 months. This was ground-level brutality, a gruesome testament to how savage and fast hatred can be when it's unleashed without restraint. The genocide exploded from decades of political manipulation, where identity was weaponized like a ticking bomb. The ruling Hutu elite stoked ethnic divisions with propaganda and paranoia, turning neighbors into enemies. It's a grim reminder of how politics, when corrupted by fear and power, can unravel the very fabric of society. As chaos unfurls, survival becomes a nerve-wracking gamble. Who lives, who dies, and who carries the scars in the aftermath? After the killings, Rwanda's refugee camps became colossal pressure cookers. Families crushed together, sharing pain, fear, and starvation under torn tents. Tutsi survivors and sometimes Hutu bystanders alike waited, sometimes years, for a chance at safety or reconciliation. These camps weren't just shelters. They were living testaments to endurance amid the wreckage. Rwanda's prisons swelled with hundreds of thousands accused of participation in the genocide. These weren't simple jails. They were overloaded, chaotic spaces where justice seemed impossible. Imagine guilt, innocence, revenge, and despair all tangled together in overcrowded cells. This crisis forced the world to rethink how justice works after mass violence. The road to justice was twisted and fragile. Traditional Gakaka courts, community trials, were revived to face the impossible task of healing a torn nation. It was a social experiment in forgiveness, truth, and accountability, showing that sometimes justice isn't just about prison bars, but about rebuilding trust piece by piece. When the slaughter stops, the real battle is for the soul of the nation. Can victims and perpetrators coexist, or does revenge reign? The genocide's shockwaves spilled beyond Rwanda, sparking wars in the Congo where resurgent genocidal forces stirred. New leaders, many former rebels or survivors, faced impossible choices: fight back or risk collapse. These regional conflicts revealed how deep wounds from genocide extend far past borders and decades. Rwanda's leaders moved from victims to rulers overnight, carrying burdens few could imagine. They struggled with justice, reconciliation, and the temptation of revenge. This political tightrope walk showed how fragile post-colonial power can be, especially when shaped by trauma and mistrust. Despite the horror, Gourevitch reveals a stubborn humanity, a fierce will to survive and rebuild. Ordinary Rwandans, from pastors to prisoners, refuse to be defined solely by violence. Their stories remind us that even after the darkest nights, the human spirit can find sparks of hope, sometimes in the most unlikely places. Back where we started, the pastor's letter, what seemed like a warning became a symbol of fractured humanity. Rwanda's story is a brutal reminder: when fear and power collide, catastrophes happen. But amidst that darkness, people survive, forgive, and rebuild. Next time you hear a warning, listen closely. Try this: seek out unheard voices in your world. They might hold the keys to understanding before disaster strikes. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.